Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the midday market monitor. For the most part, markets are so-so, and we'll talk about that. But that doesn't mean that the news that's actually coming out today is not quite exciting. It is always a blast here in markets, whether you're looking at Shift 4 today, all the way to Google or Circle. Take a look at these two conflicting names right here. Shift 4 is now up 20% today. 20. At the time that I actually posted on X, I literally think I top ticked it. It was like 25%. Didn't mean to, but it's seemingly the way that the posts are going online. And then another one, Circle here, down nearly 20%. Absolutely crazy. The difference in some of these fintech names. Now, Circle actually is getting hit because there might actually be some clarification on the Clarity Act, funnily enough. They might be compromising both the fintech and crypto companies and the big banks. The big banks do not want yield on deposits. The crypto companies do, because then they can essentially really try to ramp up the adoption of stablecoins if you can offer similar benefits of US dollars in, deposit accounts. Now, what it looks like they might be settling on is the idea of a half and half. No real yields on holding USDC or other stablecoins within your accounts, but a potential for yield on stablecoin activity. Okay. So if you're actually making transactions, if you're doing these things, yes, you'll be able to have a cashback reward or something like this, but not being able to say, hey, you know what, an APY on your stablecoins over the course of an annualized holding would be 3.5% or 4% or something like this. They don't want to do that. So the big banks are pushing back. This is leading Circle to get absolutely destroyed here. But that's just what's being proposed right now. It does look like it's going to end up going through, and the chances of the Clarity Act being cleared up by April is quite high right now. Activity-based rewards are coming, and there's a lot of gray area here too. So this is another thing that actually people are pointing out is, okay, well, what if you could say, hey, if you can do a transaction per month over 12 months, that we'll give you essentially like 3% cash back on, or whatever the total amount would be. That almost looks like a holding reward, but it's actually based on transactions. So a lot of the people who are in the industry already is saying this is leaving a ton of room, ton of gray area for future regulatory battles. So we'll see. But this immediately took a hit on Circle. Now, of course, people will look to SoFi and say, but SoFi's a bank. They should be up on this news. The traditional banks, like a JP Morgan, is benefiting. They're actually up more than the markets today. Stock is up nearly 1% right now. Earlier is up like 1.3, 1.4%. And the idea is that they won the most important part, which is that deposit markets won't be threatened by smaller fintechs and crypto companies taking customers away and bringing them over to their side. And that people will usually leave their deposits in JP Morgan or Bank of America and stuff like this if they can't find a better yield somewhere else. Now, SoFi is a bank, and that means that if stablecoins are held at SoFi, that a lot of the deposit rewards will be left to SoFi, and that is margin accretive. But where I think that this is really missing is that SoFi is actually not what you would call a legacy bank. They don't have market share today. I mean, they have market share, but it's small. It's not where they want to be, right? And so one of the aggressive ways that they try to grow is that they end up giving up a lot of their APYs on deposits and give back a lot and offer a ton of rebates and rewards to customers because it helps build up trust. Okay. And the reason why someone would leave a very trusted institution like JP Morgan, Citigroup, Bank of America is because there's higher rewards over at a SoFi or a Coinbase or something like this that might end up essentially paying for the risk of going to a new company that might not have the branches, the people that you like, the customer service that you're used to, the app that you're used to, whatever. And so it's a little bit like taking a higher risk bet. Hey, you know what? I might not like some of the products that are at SoFi, but I'm willing to take a bet because I'm going to get that 4% yield. And that's going to greatly pay for what I'm looking for. But if SoFi can't offer that on stable coins, then it kind of sucks because that's not really the way that they grow in market share if they can only end up tying the offering of JP Morgan. Now, there's other ways that they can win and everything like this. It's not necessarily a negative story for SoFi, but it is not what Anthony Noto himself had even suggested in what he wanted to go through back whenever the Genius Act was going through. You can see him tweet about this back in June of 2025, where he said, the Genius Act is a great step to modernize our financial system, but it doesn't go far enough. Its prohibition of paying interest on payment stablecoins is a loss for consumers and a clear concession to incumbent banks. While the legislation is important for driving mainstream adoption of digital assets, it prevents customers from sharing in the return that companies generate on stablecoins in order to protect the big banks. He goes on and on and on about how this is not what America should do, and it allows for more innovation and better customers. And SoFi would love to offer high-yield payment stablecoins. And they can offer high-yielding payment stablecoins, but it's the deposit coins that is, more of the actual problem here. So, while it is good for the incumbent banks, it's probably a half and half for SoFi and a negative towards the Coinbases of the world. It might be better than not. Grab wants to pump. There was a Grab story that I have in my notes here, actually. I think they are doing, announced its intention to execute on its repurchase of up to $400 million of stock over the next 4 months. It's a pretty short time frame. This would represent 80% of its $500 million share buyback program. So they're trying to do it now. That's pretty interesting. So either investors are stepping in to buy, or literally the company is stepping in to buy itself back. Michelle, getting ready to make a peach cobbler. I could never. Yeah, I also saw that Grab was buying the Panda delivery thing, but that was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So they're making some money moves. They're not the only delivery or slash fintech name that's making moves right now. Uber is reportedly going to close on an acquisition of Blacklane. Now, this is really interesting because they've been announcing acquisition after acquisition after partnership of new AV companies. They were a lead in the recent AV ride announcement. They partnered with Zoox. They partnered with Rivian. They're acquiring Blacklane. They also acquired, what was that? There was another company. Someone in chat will let me know. But this is also pretty interesting. So essentially expanding their reach into premium ride services. High triple-digit million-dollar amount. Essentially an undisclosed acquisition. Sodak Zach saying Shift 4. We did talk about that right at the start. Shift 4 being up 19% right now. It was up 25% whenever I shared my tweet. I got to stop sharing tweets because it seems like well, actually, the Circle one, I think I shared it at 17%, and that continued to fall. So maybe it doesn't just reverse the actions. But I literally got this screenshot of my tweet on Shift 4 at 55.21, and the top was 55.46. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. But it does seem to be some form of a short squeeze. There's no company-specific news. They didn't announce a new partnership or anything like this. Not that hasn't been announced in the last 2 weeks. There are some things, the XAI partnership and stuff that I saw people point to, but that news is like from March 9th. Might be positive overall. They have a very strong partnership with Elon Musk because of Jared Isaacman. So you'll probably see them do a lot more work with SpaceX and XAI and other products like that. But yeah, I'm here for Marshall. That's so funny. I'm excited for him to see some of those comments. Essentially, what's going to happen with Marshall, if I didn't say it already, he starts on Sunday and he'll probably be here on stream on Monday. But I just don't know what I want to do because, like, between the private live streams and then these live streams, it's about 2.5 hours. And I don't just want to be, well, it's not that I don't want to be talking with him, but there's not going to be enough to talk with. Like, I'm going to just need to just do the regular stream. And yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. A marshmallow. That's so funny. Hey, Tanner, do you think SoFi will make S&P sometime this year? I do. Yeah, still I do. There's not many companies that are ahead of it, and they haven't added a financial name in a while. They're a fully regulated bank. SMCI, I mean, there's a good chance that they end up getting kicked out of the S&P. Like, so we'll see. We'll see. There might be a lot of openings this time around. Okay. Yeah, Google seeing a decent drop, now down 3%. I didn't see a story just yet. Maybe I'll have to, unless I missed it. Meta hires former Google execs. I saw that. Not much that I actually saw that's related to Google here. The Mag 7 can't catch a break. I know, yet they're the best freaking companies in the market today. It's crazy. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be any actual specific Google news that's pulling it down. Key factors for today's loss is just profit taking, spend worries, but all that is stuff that we've seen before. So Google down 3, Microsoft down 2.8. Wow. Meta down 2, Amazon down 1.6. Nvidia, even though it's at 174 right now, actually holding up while the rest of the other AI infrastructure names are actually taking a real beating. Another one that I wanted to point out, and this one is actually more, you can actually understand Micron here more of why it's down than why Google is down, for example. And actually, the news would actually lead a Google or an Nvidia to be up, but a Micron to be down. This is insane. We ended up following how SK Hynix is buying up more clean space, massive $13+ billion investments. Samsung today came out talking about another $1.5 trillion, South Korean won investment for more clean space. They are setting up to expand HBM and DRAM production for all different types of AI workloads. Then SK Hynix today just did the largest ever public order of ASML's EUV tools in ASML's history, not SK Hynix's history, in ASML's history. So ASML builds these unbelievably huge, they're like the size of buildings, these massive EUV like light shooting machines that cost like $400 million. It's unbelievable. No other company can reproduce them. Tesla wants to try. A lot of companies have tried. China says that they might have one. Anyway, seems like ASML is the only company that does this. SK Hynix is ordering $8 billion worth of these, and the delivery of these tools is expected to be at the end of 2027. Okay. Once again, this is a thing that like is bringing down the stock, but the actual ordering of these products is not happening for years. All this clean space expansion and even Micron's own recent acquisitions and everything is not happening till 2027, 28, 29. Like it's all way out there. And so you're going to have what seems to be like a clear runway for 2026 and 27 to be a memory pricing explosion. And during that moment, okay, which is going to be short dated, you are paying 18 and a half times on one of the most like supply constrained areas of the AI boom. Seems cheap to me. Seems cheap. If you end up looking out into forward pricing for Micron, this is assuming that they're right. By the way, they had to increase expectations for next quarter by 46%. So whenever you go to ask Wall Street how much that they're pricing in for future growth, it's not even true. Like I don't believe Wall Street's numbers because they were just in a single quarter. We're not talking about a year, 2 years out. We're not talking midterm views. We're talking as short term as possible. What is next quarter's guidance? And you were off by 46%. This doesn't happen, guys. Like big misses are 2, 4, 6%. Like those are like surprises. Okay. A 46% surprise is insanity. That said, whenever we go to look at Micron's forward PE, let's see where that is today after coming down. Market cap's now at 440 billion. That's down from over 500 billion just whenever they reported on earnings, which everything got better during that time. Let's see what forward valuation is. Forward PE right now is 4.36 times. 4.36 times. Next, Trump is live. He was supposed to be live at 1:30. Okay, I will check if he's live. This is supposed to be a massive announcement. He is not live, or at least not live at the White House. But at 1:30, he will be live, in which we will be listening. Okay. And I think this is the wrong way to look at it. The stock's up already 300%, so not going to buy it. It's like, okay, but if a company is growing earnings by 680% and the stock is up 300%, doesn't that seem like it's cheaper now than when it was before? Like, I think you're using traditional methods of pricing companies whenever they end up increasing earnings by 19% year over year. And you're like, it's up 300%. So clearly it's more expensive than it was before. But they grew net income by 682% year over year. So what are we talking about? It needs to be up way more than 300%. It's now twice as cheap. But look at this. Look how freaking cheap this company is right now. Forward PE of 4.36 times. Is there another company like this in the history of companies? And I'm being honest. Like, SoFi is cheaper now than when it was at $6. That is a harder thing to try to find, because I think whenever it was at 6, we were either just breaking profitability. It could be cheaper now than when it was at 6, but it's a little bit more, I think, technical than Micron. SoFi is a bank, terrible sector. Where do you guys spawn from? That you guys come in to bother me? Where are you coming from? Who is sending you? Terrible sector. Finance might be literally one of the greatest sectors. Banking might be one of the greatest sectors of all time. Of all time. You have used up your time on the internet. It's time to log off. Okay, Drew Jew? You've used it all up. Like Warren Buffett had built his whole career. I'm already triggered. It's 1:20. You guys have left me to go live for 20 minutes. I'm up to here. 2 comments in a row. It's driving me nuts. And then you know what's so funny about the way that like our brains work is there's a bunch of companies being like, don't listen to them. We love you. Those just fly past me. I just get out of the way. I'm looking for the stuff to drive me nuts. It's my fault. No coffee today? Maybe not enough. I don't know. Let's take another sip. 2008 would like a word with Tanner. Brian, I'm going to shake you. The greatest sector of all time is the internet space. They added 2001. Every sector can have a moment. Okay, you don't sum up the whole industry to be like, well, there was a period there whenever things got rocky. You must have had all your investments in Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns, and you're pissed. Terrible sector. Okay. Let's go ahead and we will be covering Trump's talk at 1:30. What's going on with Celsius? I don't know. Let's take a look at Celsius. Celsius down 9.5%. I haven't heard anything about this. There's a bunch of companies just coming down for unexplained reasons, but maybe Celsius has a reason. Let's try to find it. I don't have any Celsius notes, though. Yeah, so Trump will make a major announcement today at 1:30. Insiders expect him to announce further deal talks with Iran. However, Iran has also come out and said, whoever it is, these spokespeople, they don't announce them, right? So we don't know who's in charge here. But we saw Iran say, we don't want a ceasefire, and we will make the aggressors regret it. And then they also said Iran is open to U.S. reach out, ready to listen, and that Washington has initiated outreach with Tehran and willing to consider sustainable proposals to end the conflict. While no formal negotiations have occurred, Iran is open as long as it safeguards its national interests, guarantee it won't produce or pursue nuclear weapons, and allow for peaceful nuclear use for power, and lift sanctions. See, now people are trying to bug me, but this doesn't actually bug me. If you don't see the same investments as me, it's like, yeah, all right. Like that's good. I heard Trump say that the greatest investors watch movie trailers prior to watching the movie. They don't. They don't. Or I need to reassess what I'm doing. Oh, is it really okay, I actually did see this story. The Kirkland sparkling energy drink. I actually sent that to my girlfriend. I was like, "Eh?" That's what's bringing the stock down 9%. I guess a lot of their sales are in Costco. I don't really buy Celsius any other place than Costco. Drewju says, tell future wife not to discuss banks. Drewju, you're supposed to log off. You've overused your time. Go to the guest account. Yeah, Costco is going to sell Kirkland energy drinks. Maybe this is killing Celsius. I think they were pricing them at like $17 or something a case. It's expected to maybe disrupt buying Celsius. I'll have to try one. If I like it, I'm not going to pay more for other energy drinks. Give me as many milligrams of caffeine as you can, and shoot it into my veins. Okay. Celsius is dispensed everywhere, but do you buy it everywhere? The stuff you say, I literally laugh out loud. Thank you, brother. Okay. Trump is on in 4 minutes. Let's try to close out another story here. AI agents, maybe. Microsoft and Nvidia announced a partnership for AI for nuclear collaboration. All right. Look at this too. So we need to, after Trump's conversation, need to talk about just like generally AI. But there was a lot of stories on Claude, CoreWeave, Jensen on the Lex Friedman podcast that I want to show some clips on. I think we'll be okay. It's unbelievable. I've never been more bullish on a sector in my life. And Drew's in the comments about to be like, I told you so. I knew you didn't like banking. I can like two things at once, but honestly, AI is phenomenal. And so, yeah, we will cover some of that after Trump speaks, but I want to make sure that we get that live stream, which should be up in the next few minutes. Let's also check on the SPY. Down 0.3% on the day. What are some of these red candles that we ended up getting around 1 o'clock? Was there what ended up dropping? ARM AGI CPU. ARM is officially in the selling chips for revenue business. World's most efficient agentic CPU, says ARM. Meta is actually partnering with them as well. Okay, so ARM has some stories coming out right now. How's that affecting the stock? Up 1%. All right. Is there White House live streams getting ready? Did they just go live? They don't schedule lives on the White House thing? Trump will talk bullish since markets are open. Then on Friday, after markets close, he'll claim Iran is being naughty. All right. Do you have any European stocks? I've had European stocks. I don't think I do right now. But I've held Adyen and stuff like this. Looked at ASML. What's funny is any European stock that I would consider owning always seems to be a Dutch business. Yeah. I want to buy Nubank under 14. What do you think? If you like the LATAM space and you think that it's going to fall under 14, I mean, I love this business. I love Nubank. I think they're one of the greatest businesses of all time. So, like, it's a matter of if you believe in the management, if you believe in the geographies that they operate in. But yeah. How many companies do you own? I think I'm at 17 right now. $17. But I mean, honestly, the high majority of my portfolio is made up of 3 companies, and that's Nvidia. I mean, that's like roughly half right there. Shopify, and then SoFi. And then, you have Nubank and Robinhood and stuff like that. And then what's made up of the rest is a lot of tech companies. Yeah. Trump is apparently going live. I don't see a Trump live stream. Okay. Is this? No, this is not. No, that's not it. Let's go to the White House thing. We'll see if that is. The White House is not saying it's live right now. Let me know if he's live. I'll switch over, but I don't want to keep just checking. So if anything changes, you guys let me know. If not, we will keep running. Okay. Ares Management is limiting redemptions on another $10.7 billion private credit fund as alternative asset managers face a surge in redemption requests. Nuts. Private credit is in a very weird space. Mind you, we talked about SoFi. So SoFi is in a not so great spot right now. The Clarity Act, while they are a bank and they'll benefit that way, they also want to be able to be a fast moving fintech, and that they need to offer yields to try to, build up some trust. So that kind of sucks. In the next breath, although they haven't actually came out and talked about the shorts past the initial, hey, we're looking to sue and Muddy Waters is making up crap here. Mizuho Securities ended up coming out, reaffirming their outperformance on SoFi with a $38 price target. We talked about this yesterday, okay? Saying that, like none of the analysts have changed their price targets. Not even Mizuho, the Wall Street lead right now, $38 price target, changed their price target. And they came out and said that the short report claims of the $312 million loan sale, like that whole thing is not true and that they did disclose it properly. They said that the student loan discounts were perfectly fine and that was also not true. They said that the charge-off concerns were overstated at, instead of 6.1%, 4.4%. And I just heard a knock on my door, and I think that's my girlfriend bringing me a coffee. So give me one. This, to the comments last time that said that I like my girlfriend, you guys called me a simp. This is why you do it, okay? She's a beautiful lady, and I like her for just her, but I also like when she brings me gifts. Yeah. So, yeah, simp. Yeah. Be nice to women, I guess. Is that McDonald's? The best coffee in the world. Okay. Let's see here. Let's actually read what Dan Dolev said. An activist short selling firm recently published a short report entitled SoFi, a financial engineering treadmill leaving management fat, shareholders the biggest loser. The report made several arguments primarily regarding a $312 million loan sale, which it argues was unrecorded debt, as well as comments regarding use of too low of discount rates for student loans and potentially understated charge-off rates. While the report has an impressive amount of detail and analysis, upon further investigation, we believe that those arguments could likely be refuted using SoFi's public disclosures, which is so funny. Like, what else are you going through other than SoFi's own disclosures? We believe, and we've come to the conclude, like this whole idea of like, they're like, hey, this is just our opinion. The report suggests that a $312 million JPM loan sale wasn't actually a third-party sale, arguing that it was refinancing or borrowing. Our understanding is that this is a sale of a senior loan. For reference, on the third quarter 2024 call, the CFO noted, finally, we sold $312 million of senior secured loans at par execution. We would argue that that as a heavily regulated bank like SoFi is, such a statement requires true sale opinion. The report argues that in 2025 for, sorry, wait one sec. Just making sure that I have everything up. Where was I? Heavily rated. Such a statement requires true sale opinion. The report suggests that in 2025, for student loans, SoFi used a discount rate of 3.89%, which was 25 basis points below the 10-year U.S. Treasury yield. Since the weighted average life of SoFi student loans is 4 years, SoFi is reasonably using a 4-year SOFR, not a 10-year Treasury, as its benchmark rate. The report argues, as it calculates SoFi's personal loan charge-off rate as really being approximately 6.1% versus the 2.89% it reports, it argues that SoFi manipulates the rate by disposing of loans days before the charge-off threshold and being seemingly parking default loans off balance sheet. First, we would note that that management specifically called out 4.4% versus 2.89% of loans, excluding the 90 million of late-stage delinquent personal loans, which is what we said already. Nothing really new there from Dan, but everyone a part of the SoFi community in any sort of bullish statement is remaining quite positive. And actually, from what I heard, so I think I was too quick to judge Giuliano Bologna. Supposedly, he has also been refuting some of, he's a bear on SoFi, and he's also been refuting some of Muddy Waters' claims and Carson Block's claims. I also had this sent to me by the great and powerful Sodak Zach, that was recently going through a paper back. This was all the way back in China from a company called Orient Paper Inc., where the company Muddy Waters, you can even see here, Mr. Carson Block toured our plant for less than an hour and then offered to publish a positive research report in exchange for a large sum of money in equity compensation. We refused their offer. The next we heard from these gentlemen was on June 28th, 2010, when they published a 30-page report under the name of a new firm named Muddy Waters, LLC, alleging that our company was a fraud and that management was misappropriating investors' money. If that's true, that is hilarious. But, I mean, these types of reports are going back with just continuous, weird claims from Muddy Waters. The App Lovin' report that just came out a couple months ago. It's all from the same company. Refuted, denied. Now, short reports sometimes do find companies and they make a lot of money and they're out of their shorts in quick succession. But I would not consider these guys, trying to help retail investors or trying to support them or anything like this. They are trying to fill their own pockets. It's not great. Written order to deploy units expected to come in hours. I did see this as well, the 82nd Airborne. I think it's about 3,000 people are being deployed into the Middle East or looking to be deployed into the Middle East. Yeah. It's not good. But I'm also curious, if you end up seeing some of Iran's comments where they're like, hey, we're not looking to, come to an agreement, or the aggressors will end up facing massive repercussions for attacking Iran and all of this stuff, and they're not going to forget and everything like this, and threatening to not reopen the strait. Well, it is extremely... the American people are extremely against deploying troops because these are real American lives, and they have families to come home to, and those families are the people doing those surveys, and it's terrible. Any form of war and loss of human life. If you are looking to take control of the strait, you either make an agreement with Iran. If they turn that down, there's another way to open the strait, and that's forcefully. And that's hard to do from the air, but maybe potentially possible if you are on the ground and actually look to push for potentially regime change or area control or something along these lines. I think if Iran misjudges Trump's intention or the administration's intentions, this conflict could go on for longer. And not only that, I mean, you could potentially just win over that area by force. You still in Chime? Yes, I'm still in Chime. I said that I would be in it till the Q1 print. So Q1's expected to be a very large bump in earnings because of the tax refunds and everything that they end up seeing. And then the customers immediately spend it all. Chime usually sees a big benefit from there. But then after that, I don't think I'm going to stay in unless I see something very material that changes my view of the company. But it's not looking likely right now. Yeah. Okay. Hey, Tanner, just joined in. Is the Clarity Act news bearish for ETH and BMNR? I guess it could be because, well, I don't know. So I think that it could slow the adoption of stablecoins, but it's not going to change still the need for stablecoins. Like, it just might be that the banks and financial institutions end up slowly adopting this quicker because it still is faster, cheaper, and easier for them to use, but it might not be that customers are also demanding it as well. But I honestly think that the end game of where we are in stablecoins is that you're not even going to know that you're even using them. It just is the digital US dollar, right? And that doesn't mean that it's a centralized government digital dollar, but it still is, you know, it could be held in Tether, Circle, SoFi, JP Morgan, USD, whatever, but it still runs on Ethereum. All right. I get ready for work with Tanner Stream. I really should subscribe. So the interesting thing is like, I think subscribers is like a vanity thing, but it doesn't change the way that people find me, people like the way you get paid on YouTube or anything. Subscribers really don't mean anything anymore. The algorithm doesn't really, most people are not clicking on my videos through the subscriber page, through notifications or anything. They're just finding me because SoFi puts it on the front page because they know that you've done this the last 18 days in a row. So subscribe if you want, but it's more for my vanity than anything. Do super chats pay you? Yes. Yeah. Super chats and but mainly, I mean, the 99 percentile is or the large majority is just advertisements. So more views equals more money or whatever. But it's I'm live regardless. We're going live regardless, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see today's whoop. Okay. Are you guys ready to see my whoop today? Sleep score. Trump's still not live. We'll get back to markets. You guys, like, get ready to screenshot this. This is going to be a this is something you haven't seen before from me. Ready? Oh my gosh. Terrible, dude. I woke up like in the middle of the night and just couldn't fall asleep. Unreal. It was terrible. That's options level stress. I was just cold. I was just cold. I don't know what it was. I was feeling ill. I was like in bed ill. And then woke up feeling fine. But yeah, there was like a 2-hour period in the middle of the night where I was just sitting in bed staring at my ceiling. Cuddle time. I've got this mass. I would need to run to find her. I don't even know she's there. Like, we share a bed. My girlfriend might as well not even exist. I sleep like a starfish and nothing touches me. It's the best. Just hop on stream then, like a 4 a.m. stream thing. No, but I might fall asleep. So I don't want to get out of bed and do something. However, my brain is like running and I do want to get out of bed, but then I know that I'm definitely not going to fall back asleep. The chance of me falling asleep if I get back to work is 0. So today it was terrible. I guess for the people wondering, I am mortal. Shopify and artificial intelligence. We already knew that this was coming, but just another, insight that this is happening like now. It says millions of merchants will be able to sell to ChatGPT through agentic storefronts starting this week. The company also says that Shop Pay is coming to Copilot, and you can also see Perplexity back there as well in their graphic. So this is coming, ladies and gentlemen, across all the platforms. Very, very interesting. Trump is not live. Unless he's live somewhere else other than the White House. But why would that be the case? I don't think that this is the actual real live stream. That's the problem too, is these, the only real one that I actually believe these days is the White House live stream. Okay. Let's also check CNBC. They might have any. No. Okay. No live coverage there. All right. U.S. will be the last to feel energy disruptions from war in Iran. Ooh, let's see what Cargyle has to say about this. Jeff Curry. This could be interesting. Let's have a listen.
Joining us from the CERAWeek conference in Houston is Jeff Curry. He's partner and chief strategy officer of Energy Pathways at Carlyle. Jeff, it's great to see you. And those two items that Eamon just mentioned, the Iranian official who says basically the U.S. is just manipulating or jawboning futures, and reports they're considering ground troops, all of which leaves you where on the oil price and on the energy complex from here?
Well, I think with the first point, one thing it's important to remember about oil, it is not a financial instrument. It does not price expectations. It is a spot instrument that has to clear today's supply and demand. So you really can't manipulate a commodity market. Yeah, you can push it down a little bit here and there, but the physical realities will be what dominates this market, and they're in front of us.
I like that point that you're making. You've talked about that a lot. And so the price today, which is on the rise, 92 for WTI, 100 for Brent. I don't know if we have a concrete sense of why that is, or if it's simply just gaming out, probabilities of whether additional strikes could happen on energy infrastructure.
Well, I think when we look at WTI and Brent, they're in the, WTI is the Western Hemisphere. I'm here in Texas and it's up there in Oklahoma. This part of the world will be the last part to feel these disruptions. The way you like to think about it is there's a finite buffer between when the disruption occurred and when you get physical disruptions. In places like Asia, that time period is like 2 to 3 days. So they're going to be hitting this within the week. In places like Philippines, it's already there. New Zealand, Australia, they're already feeling it. Jet fuel in some parts of the world is over $300 a barrel. So there's other parts of the world that are feeling it. In places like Europe, it's going to be within the next week or two. So I think the point here is The physical realities drive the physical price. And in oil, like Oman and stuff that's traded in Asia, is already trading $150, $160 a barrel. That's what's likely in store for places like Europe in the coming weeks. Now, WTI that's here in Oklahoma or up in Oklahoma, it's going to be the last one to feel it, and that's going to be way off in the future.
Well, still, you're talking about a much higher oil price where I think a lot of folks have settled on this idea that we've put in the highs and are probably heading back down towards, I don't know the number, 90, 80, 70 a barrel. Do you think that's realistic?
No, absolutely not. And why? These are physical markets. They've priced the physical reality of supply and demand. That we have not seen peak physical strength in these markets or the shortages yet. So like a financial market prices the future, the expectations. It's why we call financial markets anticipatory assets. Commodities are what we call spot assets. They have to clear the supply and demand of today. There are no expectations. And so when that shortage hits, that's when you're going to see peak prices.
When you talk about shortages, I've heard this kind of going around that, watch out, come April 1st, we're going to start to see actual shortages in the market. Can you explain what you and others mean by that? Are we talking about in certain parts of the crude oil market globally, or are we talking about things that could affect, availability at the gasoline pump here in the U.S.?
Well, the way I like to think about it is there's an air pocket going through global supply chains is indeterminate length. It's getting bigger and bigger because we don't have new refueling supply coming out of the Gulf. So that air pocket gets bigger and bigger. Think about this. It takes somewhere around 3 to 4 weeks to sail a ship from the Gulf into Europe or the US, like Rotterdam, or into, let's say, the East Coast. So when you think about how long it takes from the time when the disruption started, take 4 weeks from when let's go somewhere early March, you're talking early April when you're going to feel it in places like Rotterdam and in the U.S. East Coast. Now, in terms of thinking about the U.S., because it is more insulated, meaning it produces what it consumes, it'll be the last to feel it. But it'll start when Europe starts to feel it. That's when the U.S. is going to start to feel it in the price level.
There you go. There you go.
Is that the actual Steve in chat? Do I not have you modded in chat? That would be some craziness if I do not. Let's give Steve a call. Make sure that that's him. If he can talk in chat, he can talk on the phone. Hey, are you in my chat?
You can also send me a link if you want.
Okay. You can come on for a bit?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know. I don't know where... don't you have a job?
Let's just say the milkman does what the milkman wants to do these days.
I mean, I like it. I'll send you a link.
Later.
Bye. If that is the official Steve, then we need to mod him. Okay. The milkman does what the milkman wants to do. Craziness. All right. Steve. Yeah. We got to pump him up. Yeah, he is the great and powerful. Yeah, mod him. You're right. Okay, let's go back. I need to be able to see when Steve's in the chat. Where was that? Is that the official Steve right there? Okay, he's a mod. Don't miss AMD. Nothing's happening at AMD. Unless you're referring to another story. Okay. Dude, check X. I sent you the link on X. Not sending that to you on WhatsApp. It's on my phone. GameStop earnings tonight. You're very right about that. I also just saw this from, this is not GameStop related. This is SoFi related, but Ken Megan ended up sharing this on X, that exactly what we thought was going to happen is Well, what is going to happen? The change in SoFi Plus is not going to change your APY on deposits. Okay? That's not changing. And then on March 31st, they're adding exciting new benefits, and that you, including an even higher APY. Wow. Wow. Holy. Okay, cool. Including an even higher APY. That's how they could make the $10 a month work for sure. But anyway, we have better things to talk about, and that will happen with the great and powerful Stephen Fiorillo.
Hello, Tanner.
How you doing?
You know, hanging in there. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well.
I actually wanted to ask you something.
Please do.
Did Muddy Waters really reach out to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not only so I knew they would. Like literally I was live streaming. I should clip it out. It's probably a pretty funny live stream. I said they just followed me yesterday on X, and I was like, they probably are going to reach out today because a bunch of either bearish analysts, like Wall Street analysts, and other people have reached out to me to come on the show to talk about SoFi.
Wow.
Because honestly, they want to talk whenever it looks like it's in their favor. Like I reached out to those guys and during like at $7, and they didn't want to talk to me between 7 and 32 because it was going in one direction. They're like, okay, well, this is not going to look good for me. So now that it's coming down, the bears come out. And then so the other day, Muddy Waters followed me on X. And then the next day they sent me an email.
Okay.
And we're not having them on.
We're not having them on.
No, because I'm worried that if there is legal action, that I would be named as a potential witness or anything like this if they make comments that they end up talking about that are a part of my show.
Gotcha. Okay. Fair enough.
So, and plus, like they said, oh yeah, they want to come on. They reached out to me. Not, I'm being.
No, I'm aware. I wouldn't think that you would have reached out to them.
Sec. What's up? Do you know you're live with Tanner and? Well, I definitely know that because I can hear myself through the TV. What's going on?
I'm live right now.
Oh, you didn't know? You're live with Steven and me in front of 1,600 people.
Put yourself on mute for a sec.
No.
Can you put yourself on mute for a second?
How important is this?
It's going to take 2 seconds.
Steve, can you control the chat for a second?
Entertain. Sure. Well, Tanner, you should probably, yeah, there you go. So Tanner is having a very important conversation with Tevis. I told Tevis that if he needs bail money to call me. So hopefully that's not why he's calling Tanner. And it's something, different. Is Trump speaking? I have no clue if Trump is speaking or not. No clue. But I will tell you this. I downloaded Truth Social. I am now a member, so I can get breaking news from the Donald himself. Why is the market flying? You know what? I actually haven't really been watching. I was busy working before. The market's not flying, everybody. It's going down.
It wasn't even remotely necessary for him to talk to me right now.
Oh, okay.
He could have called me tomorrow.
He made it sound like it was urgent, and I told him if he needed bail money to call me.
Yeah, like essentially he wanted like practically IT help. Like, okay. Anyway.
Okay.
What were we talking about before I took that?
Muddy Waters.
Muddy Waters. Yeah, so did you see the Dan Dolev report that just came out? Mizuho?
No, I did not.
Another Wall Street analyst. So there's been no downgrades from Wall Street. There have been, I think, 3 analysts so far that have come out and reaffirmed their exact same price target before and said there's nothing new in this report. And that exactly happened with the most bullish person on Wall Street, Dan Dolev of Mizuho. He has a
Right.
$38 price target. He just restated the $38 outperformance price and said that the Muddy Waters report is full of lies. Like they just said it's not true at all.
I mean, I had a look. I'll say what I've said before. I don't know the Muddy Waters people. I'm not interested in having a conversation with them. I said my piece on X. I think it was not researched the best, the report, and
Yeah.
I think that they could have done a lot more research on it. Pretty much every single claim they made is spelled out in the 10K. So,
yeah. So I just also think like whenever they reach out to me or something like this, it's like I should be reaching out to them, right? I benefit from this in terms of views or whatever. What do they benefit from? And I think that that's exactly
no, it's getting their message out and getting their viewpoint across because obviously
it's just
the CNBC interview did not go well.
It's just to re-increase the amount of FUD and stuff like this. They're trying to find people who they can scare out of their positions.
No.
I have no reason to platform that.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So, how you feeling about Nvidia there, buddy?
Great. Did you see the Lex Friedman?
Oh, did I see that we've hit AGI? Yeah, I saw it.
It's very cool, man. He said a lot of great things. And yeah, I love the fact that he's the CEO of that company. You know, whenever you are just 100% tied to someone's beliefs and you're like, I'd let this dude control my entire net worth. I practically am. I'm letting him, like, half of my entire life is tied to Jensen.
Okay.
He's a straight shooter. How many times did Jensen come up in the Epstein files? You know what I mean? This dude's focused on business and business alone.
I didn't look. I haven't even read them, nor do I care about
I don't think he's in
files.
there.
I don't have the time or the brain power to go through that stuff.
I will say, let's keep talking, but whenever this turns to Trump being on the air, I'm going to be watching this. And
he's coming on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have that up in the side.
The
but
Donald.
supposedly he's going to be talking about Iran, potential deals, potential escalations. I'm interested in hearing what that's about.
Oh, Tevis is calling you out. I needed IT help. I mean, Tevis, I wasn't going to say anything about it, man.
I mean, dude, it was not that phone call you did not need to take in front of 1,600 people at all. You could have waited till tomorrow. He essentially needed IT help. It's equivalent. Tevis seems high maintenance. Okay. But yeah, are you believing in what the heck is happening with Micron right now?
Yeah,
you
I
have to
told
pinch
you.
yourself in order
Everybody
to
thinks
wake
the
yourself
boom
up?
bust cycle. I mean, I told you that
What's
this
busting
could
right now?
easily happen.
What is busting?
So, Tanner, you are familiar with the previous boom bust cycles of DRAM, correct?
Yes, but what is making this change going down? What new information is changing?
There is none. It's all skepticism about how long the boom is going to last. And everybody remembers the previous boom bust cycles in DRAM. And that's what they're equating this to. That's all this is. The numbers were incredible. The company is undervalued. But because of the previous boom bust cycles, they are planning that this is going to fizzle out sooner than later. And that's why it trades at 7 times earnings. Does it deserve to be there? Probably not. I don't think you were wrong thinking it should go higher after that report, but I did tell you that this is a candidate to sell off just like Nvidia did. Hardware is a difficult cycle.
Yeah, but so one of the reasons why it's going down today is not actually because of Micron news. It's because of their big competitors, Samsung, SK Hynix, are announcing additional expansions every day. SK Hynix is now ordering $8 billion of ASML EUV tooling, which is the largest publicly disclosed order in ASML's history to expand HBM DRAM production for AI workloads. That's great. That order alone, just for ASML's tooling, doesn't even get there till the end of 2027.
Okay.
The clean room space that they need for new fabrications is incredible. And a lot of that doesn't even come online till late 2027, 28, let alone actually getting production out the door. I think that the squeeze over the next 2 years is going to make it seem like a 4 PE was a price that you can pay. You know, a forward PE of 4 times.
It could be. Micron's a great company. It's been an innovator in DRAM. Once again, the problem is Nvidia set the tone with incredible earnings reports and it didn't break out. Micron, incredible earnings report, didn't break out. It's a different environment right now. And I think that you need the macro to get fixed for a true risk on environment to happen, because one of the underlying things that's happening that people aren't talking about is if this situation is not cleared up, have you looked at where they're pricing rate hikes now for the end of the year?
I've not checked it today. Where are we at?
So bring up CME Group. They have a very low percentage. Be that as it may, it's night and day different from where we were 4 weeks ago, where we are actually pricing in the potential for a rate hike this year and next year. That could significantly change the risk on to a risk off scenario, because people think the cost of capital is going to get more intense, which then they're accounting to could impact CapEx expansion. And if that happens, hardware names are going to take an even bigger hit. Nobody knows. You need this to clear out, and you need oil to come back to under 75 for these names to go higher, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, look, that's why I bought more Nvidia, because I think oil will be under 75, and I think we're getting another gift for certain companies. For me, I am putting more capital in Nvidia because I think it's undervalued, and I think oil will be under 75, and I think we will have a risk-on scenario later in the year.
Yeah, I mean, the market tries to figure it out. You know, the sales in Micron or the sales in Nvidia continue to stack on. So if we stay in this depressed 180, 175 for Nvidia, if there is a risk on moment where people actually do want to start investing in these companies, that's only going to allow that spring to pop even harder whenever that risk on moment does happen.
Yeah.
So until the fundamentals change, the trade might be off time, but I don't have anything that expires during those moments. Like, in fact, I only have things that expire in those moments that go to benefit me. Me as the seller of covered calls or cash secured puts, I'm not a buyer or anything like this that's going to expire worthless. So, I'm not going to be talking that up too much. But a 36% chance, let's say, of a rate hike. Do you think that this is going to hurt SoFi stock?
I think it could. I think the fact that you are at a 36% chance that you get a hike this year is crazy, and it is such a different environment than we started the year at when these companies provided guidance. He's live?
Trump's live.
All right. Go to it. I'll listen to it with you.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much. It's a great day for me because I have a lot of confidence in this gentleman. And we're thrilled to swear in our new Secretary of Homeland Security, a great American patriot, to put it mildly, Mark Wayne Mullen. And I want to just say, Mark Wayne, congratulations. Great. You deserve it. You're a great man. Let me also thank Secretary Mullen's beautiful family, including his wife, Christy. Thank you. His sons, Jim and Jace and Andrew, and daughters, Lara, Ivy, Lynette, and other members of the Mullen family. It's a beautiful family. You would know this guy. He's our big top wrestling guy. I won't wrestle him for anything. An all-American wrestler, huh? Good. We have good genetics in that family. Proud of you. Thanks as well to Attorney General Pam Bondi, Chairman Jason Smith, Congressman Josh Gottheimer, former Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy, and many other friends that are gathered with us. It's great group of people. For 13 years, Mark Wayne has represented the incredible state of Oklahoma, a state that I won 77 out of 77 counties 3 times in a row. So they like me there. Second was Ronald Reagan at 56. Did you know that? 56. That's not bad. But 77, it's 77 out of 77, I think, right? That's not bad. But he was there in Congress as a member of the House and then as an outstanding United States Senator. And he really has been outstanding. He's been a close and vital partner in helping us secure the border, stop migrant crime, end the scourge of illegal drugs, and make America safe again and make America great again. And he's a tremendous player. He worked with Tom Homan, worked with all of our people on the right, and many more. And everything he's done has been good. I say everything he touched, he's turned to gold. Now, but even in business, he was successful, in all fairness. And he was successful. And he said, I want to go into politics. I hope you're happy. But as the only Native American, I didn't know that, huh? Let me look at you. Well, I think that's all right. He's got great quality, I can tell you. It's the only Native American in the Senate. How many have been there before you? Do you know? Native American? I think 3. 3. Well, you're a fantastic representative. Mark Wayne has also been a fantastic advocate for our cherished tribal communities. He's now the first member of the Cherokee Nation ever to serve as a member of the cabinet. I didn't know all these things. I would have picked him faster if I had known. I would have made a quicker decision. Prior to his career in public service, Mark Wayne had a very successful career in business, leaving school at age 20 after his father got sick, taking over his family business and turning it into a multi-million-dollar success story. He's a very successful guy. Mark Wayne has also a career as an MMA fighter. That's why I looked at his ears and I said, I'm not going to fight with him. You can tell a lot about a person by their ears, right? During which he went totally undefeated. He was undefeated during his career, and he's been inducted into the Oklahoma Wrestling Hall of Fame. And the family is made of fantastic wrestlers, especially that guy right there. That's my favorite guy, huh? And suffered bad injury and come back stronger than ever, I think. So good to have you, man, right? I have no doubt that as he takes the helm of DHS, Mark Wayne will fight for Homeland Security, the United States, and securing the country and making it really strong and the way it should be. Our country's come a long way in the last year. We set it up so beautifully, and then we had 4 years of horror. We had 4 years of disgusting horror, open borders, and things that nobody would even think of. You wouldn't even think of. 25 million people poured into our country, and we've gotten a lot of them out, but we have a lot more to go. 11,888 murderers came into our country. People came in from all over the world, from prisons and gangs, gang members, drug dealers, people from mental institutions, insane asylums. That's the mental institution times 2. And what they allowed to happen to our country can never be allowed to happen again, and it won't. With Mark Wayne, we have somebody that's strong, professional, and fair. As you know, the department that Mark Wayne takes over today is currently shut down by radical left Democrat thugs in Congress who have blocked all funding for DHS because they're trying to shield illegal alien criminals, gang members. They want to protect them from being taken out of the country, drug dealers, murderers. They're protecting them all. I don't know how people can vote for these people. You know, I see the midterms are close. I don't know what close means, but I don't know how people can vote for them. You take a look, men, they want men to be able to play in women's sports. They want transgender for everybody. Terrible, but that's the way it is. They don't want to give voter ID. They don't want voter ID for elections. They don't want proof of citizenship for elections. And then they get to vote. They do cheat, but I don't know. It's hard to believe they can cheat that much. Just in the past few days, we've seen the horrifying consequences of Democrats' deadly open border extremism. They want open borders, and they want to open the borders again if they have their chance, because they think they're going to get votes by doing that. On Thursday, a precious 18-year-old college student named Sheridan Gorman was shot and killed while she was walking in a park. She was just walking into the park, didn't do anything. The illegal alien monster charged with Sheridan's brutal murder had come illegally from Venezuela and been released into our country by sleepy Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of our country. And I don't say that because I think he's fine. He's okay. I don't like him, dislike him. I talk about job performance. That's all I care about, job performance. Worst president in history. And Obama wasn't far behind, by the way. But he was then arrested and released again by Democrat governor, a real slob of a governor, J.B. Pritzker, in the sanctuary city of Chicago, which we could make safe in 2 months, I would say. 2 months if we sent in the group, Tom, right? 2 months would be good. 3 months, very good. 4 or 5 months, it would be great. But they would never call because they don't want to do that. All they have to do is call and ask for a little help. The Democrats in Congress do not care how much American blood they shed in their demented pursuit of open borders. From Sheridan Gorman to Jocelyn Nungary and Laken Riley, their quest to flood our country with illegal aliens has left countless American victims in its wake. They never changed. They see what's happening. They never change. That's what they want. They want to get the votes. With sanctuary and sanctuary cities going at levels that they are, and we've ended a lot. We've done a lot. But for some reason, they love it. It's a sanctuary. You know, sanctuary cities are sanctuary for, it's really a sanctuary for criminals. With Secretary Mullen at DHS, we will continue our record-setting efforts to deport these illegal alien criminals from our country, and we are doing at record levels despite a very unfair court system, a radicalized left court system, and others that I'm not too fond of also. And we'll protect innocent American lives. Every single illegal migrant who is a criminal record must be deported immediately. If they have a criminal record, you got to deport them. And there's a lot that came in under Biden. And Kamala, the great border czar, Kamala, who never went to the border, never called Border Patrol, never once called Border Patrol. Can you imagine that, Jim? She's the border czar. She never called Border Patrol. Explain that to me. He's the worst. She was as bad as he was. Going to give him IQ tests next week. Under the Trump administration, we've achieved unprecedented gains on public safety. Yesterday, we were in Memphis, Tennessee, to celebrate the steepest reduction in crime ever recorded. We've been there for about 5 months, and the numbers, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And thanks to our Memphis Safe Task, it's called Safe Task Force, alongside our efforts in Washington, D.C. And what we've done in Washington is amazing. We have Washington as a safe city now. It's been amazing. It's been, if you go back a year and a half, 2 years ago, Washington was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, let alone this country. And now we have a very safe city. And what they've done with all of the people working, many of the people standing right there, has been incredible. And now we're going to see all of our cities take a big step because of Mark Wayne. In 1 year, my administration, we've created the most secure border in the United States history and the largest drop in illegal immigration ever recorded, slashed the illegal fentanyl crossings on our border by 64%, and accomplished the largest decline in the murder rate in the history of our country, bringing it down to 1,900. That's before my father was born. My father was born a little bit after that. He wouldn't be happy mentioning this because he never liked talking about age, but he lived to be a ripe old age. But that's before my father was born. Think of it, 1,900. We have a record, 1,900. Murders last year were at the lowest level in 125 years, and we're making America safe again. We're doing it at levels that nobody, everything we're doing, we're making great. The border is great. The military is great. We're having, by the way, a tremendous success, as you know, in Iran. We had one in Venezuela, and now we're having one in Iran. They have no Navy left. They have no Air Force left. They have no anti-aircraft equipment left, no radar left, no leaders left. The leaders are all gone. Nobody knows who to talk to. But we're actually talking to the right people, and they want to make a deal so badly. You have no idea how badly they want to make a deal. And we'll see what happens. I want to thank Pete Hegseth. The job you're doing over there is really incredible. You and the general and all of the other generals and colonels and captains and majors and everybody else, right? It's a perfect, amazing thing. We make the best military equipment in the world. Now we're going to make it faster. We want to get it faster, but we make the best in the world. We're doing a job. So I'd like to ask Attorney General Bondi to come and do the honors of swearing in a man who's going to do a phenomenal job for our country. And I tell you, your family has to be very proud. You have to be very proud. Everybody wanted this job. He said, there's one man for this job, and I have no doubt he's going to be fantastic. Thank you, Pam. Come on over. Thank you.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
Do you think? Do
Do
you think we're going to get any real
support and defend the
Iran news?
Constitution of the
No.
United States
I'll support and defend the Constitution of the
He would have led with it.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
United
You think he'll do a
States
Q&A?
and domestic,
and that I will bear
Uh-huh.
true faith and allegiance to the same,
and I'll bear true faith to allegiance and do the same.
and that I take this obligation freely,
Take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any
Let's do a
or purpose
poll.
of evasion,
If you guys want to continue to listen
and that
for
I will well and faithfully
Iran
and that I will well and faithfully
questions,
discharge the duties of
let me set up a poll right now.
discharge the duties of the office
on which I am about to enter.
which I am about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Secretary.
Thank you. I think that was the most nervous I've ever been. I don't, it just seems surreal being in the Oval Office and having the President of the United States speak so highly of me and then recognize my family and know my family by name. It's humbling, and I never take it for granted, but I have made this very clear that I don't care what color your state is. I don't care if you're red or you're blue. At the end of the day, my job is to be Secretary of Homeland and to protect everybody the same. And we will do that. I'll fight every single day. Today, I got the privilege of meeting so many of the employees at DHS. These employees have been there for 30 days without pay. And if you need anything to know their dedication to show up and still protect the homeland that you and I enjoy and the freedoms that we're experiencing, they're working with for free. Because of political politics, that's all I need to know. I told them, as you're fighting 365 days, understand I'll be fighting 365 days beside you. No one's going to outwork me, and I'm not going to let any of them outwork me. The president has entrusted me with this, and failure is not an option. And so thank you so much, Mr. President, for this opportunity. I won't let you down.
Thank you very much. I love that expression. No one's going to outwork me. That's a wrestler's expression, isn't it? Huh? That's a good wrestler's expression. Yes, please.
Mr. President, will the Secretary's replacement in the Senate support the SAVE Act and the use of the talking filibuster to get it through?
Well, it's not the SAVE Act. It's not called this. It's called the Save America Act. There's a big difference because the SAVE Act, nobody knows what that means. Save America means Save America. And I can't speak for him, but I would imagine that Mark Wayne, I didn't even ask him the question because who wouldn't support it? Voter ID with a picture. You want citizenship, proof of citizenship. Ideally, you want to end mail-in ballots because there's tremendous corruption. Then we added a couple of things, Mark Wayne, like I don't think being a great athlete and having a family of great athletes, they have produced great athletes in this family, all-American wrestlers. They especially like wrestling, by the way. And what about baseball? Do you play baseball? Anything? They like wrestling. But I don't think that you would say that his family, and I don't know this for a fact, and I shouldn't say it because I could get myself. Does anybody in your family want men to play in women's sports? I don't think so, Jim, right? I don't think so. I don't think. How would they do? Would they do good wrestling you? They would be in trouble. He said, yes, I'd be in big trouble. It's so crazy. So that would be one. And then we have a few others that we call them the best of Trump. But if you look at transgender mutilization of children, we don't want that. It's the mutilization of children. We don't want that. So generally speaking, I think I can answer that Mark Wayne would be very much in favor of what I'm in favor of. Would you say that's right, Mark? I can't think of too many things. He might be worse. He might be worse than me. That's my look at his wife is saying. That's right. But so yeah, he's going to be great. Yeah.
Do you believe the secretary will run DHS any differently than Kristi Noem did? What do you hope to see as his priorities?
Well, we had a good run. Look, we created the strongest border with the help of that man right there. Tom is so incredible. And he's going to be a big influence here too. There's nobody more professional, nobody better. There's nobody better as a human being. You know, he looks tough, but he's got a good heart, but not too good. Don't make it too good. But, you know, we had Tom. We have the safest border we've ever had. We have a lot of assets, but a lot of things we can do, and we're going to do. We have to get criminals out of our country that were allowed in by Biden. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, do you support what appears to be emerging agreement coming out of the Senate to reopen DHS?
Well, I'm going to look at it, and we're going to take a good hard look at it. I want to support Republicans, and you know, sometimes it's awfully hard to get votes when you have Democrats that don't want to have voter ID. They don't want to have proof of citizenship. They don't want to do anything about men playing in women's sports. That's one of the items we put on, you know. And I did that just because it's so popular. You know, they say that's at least an 80-20 issue. No, it's about a 99-1. I don't think it's, what do you think? But do you think it's 80-20? Who's closer, 80-20 or 99-1? Yeah, I think 100 is really the, so, you know, so I support that, and I support common sense.
Would you be comfortable with a deal that involves separating ICE funding from the DHS funding package in order to reopen?
Well, they're working on all of that. You know, that's a detail that they'll explain later. Please.
Integrity and DHS measures. Mr. President, since CISA falls under DHS, and given that many credible voices have raised concerns over its premature and possibly likely faulty 2020 election assessment, will you and Secretary Mullen implement reforms at CISA and at DHS to ensure full confidence in future elections, like in the upcoming?
About it. We'll talk about it. You know, pros and cons. Look, they used it to try and put me in prison, right? So I can't be thrilled with it. They use that very strongly, very illegally. The Democrats are thugs, and I don't want to say that. It'd be nice to everyone get along, but it's a different country than it was years ago. It was very dangerous the way they used it, and they weaponized government. They used that to weaponize government. So I'm not thrilled, but I'll also go along with two groups of people: the military, and I think the military likes it, right? And I'll go along with the senators. I'm fine. But I was a big victim of it. Yeah, please.
Are you going to send Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff to do direct negotiations with the Iranians?
Yeah, well, we're in negotiations, as it turned out. And now you've seen what I said yesterday was exactly correct. We're in negotiations right now. They're doing it along with Marco, JD. We have a number of people doing it. And the other side, I can tell you, they'd like to make a deal. And who wouldn't if you were there? Look, their Navy's gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their communications are gone. That's the biggest problem. It's very hard to communicate them between themselves. All of the anti-aircraft is gone. Most of their missiles are gone. We either shot them or they shot them and don't have them anymore. They're down to a trickle. They're pretty much everything they have is gone. I don't know. Can you name one thing that's not gone, or can you name one thing that's doing well? You know, if you read the papers, you think we're tied. You think we're in a tough battle. We are roaming free over Tehran, the city, Tehran, as opposed to Iran. We're roaming free. We can do whatever we want. And as you know, today we were going to have the privilege of shooting down a very big electric generation plant, one of the biggest in the world. And one shot to the right location ends the plant, it collapses. And we held off based on the fact that we're negotiating. Yeah.
What was the turning point to make you want to pursue a ceasefire? A few days ago, you said you wanted to continue bombing Iran. Now you want to pursue peace talks. Was there something that happened?
The fact that they're talking to us and they're talking sense. And remember, it all starts with they cannot have a nuclear weapon. Just You know, I said yesterday, they said, what are the top 10? I said, well, number 1, 2, and 3 is they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. And we're talking about that. And I don't want to say in advance, but they've agreed they will never have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that.
How do you ensure
Greg
they won't have a
Bovino,
nuclear
your
weapon?
former Border Patrol chief, Greg Bovino, said his only regret is that he didn't catch more illegal aliens. What's your reaction to that?
Who said that?
That's your former Border Patrol chief. He just retired.
Well, I mean, we captured a lot. You know, they were allowed into the country by Sleepy Joe and that group of incompetent people that were, he was the worst president ever, the group of incompetent people. To me, that's the biggest scar. You know, inflation, they caused the highest inflation we've ever had. We've already gotten rid of it. The biggest scar is what they did, the people that they allowed from prisons all over the world. They came from the Congo, from all over South America. Rough people, really tough people. So, no, I understand what he means. He says, you know, he would have liked to have captured more. I'm not capturing so much as removing. You know, we're removing thousands of people. And many are self-deporting because we're going after them so powerfully that they're self-deporting, Tom, going back. I think that's one of the big unkept secrets. We have thousands and thousands of people, and they're self-deporting. They're going back to where they came from. But what we want really is the criminals. We're really focused on those criminals, getting them out. Yeah.
What's your message right now to Democrats and also to Americans that are stuck at airports? Is really devastating watching it online because Democrats won't fund DHS.
What's devastating?
Your message to Americans right now stuck at airports as we speak because Democrats won't
Well,
fund
they just
DHS?
don't, they won't. Look, this is a deal that was done in the great big beautiful deal, which gave you the biggest tax cuts ever, including no tax on tips and no tax on Social Security for the seniors. Think of it, no tax on overtime, tax deductions when you buy a car, you take money, pay interest on the money, you deduct it. We've never had that for people buying cars. If it's an American car, only if it's an American car. But they are just they stick together, the Democrats. I tell you, I give them great credit for that. We have some that they're not good stickers. We have guys like Tom Massey in Congress, who's terrible. He's just terrible, terrible person. I call him Rand Paul Jr., but they don't vote. Rand Paul, I mean, rarely votes for stuff. Likes me, says I'm a great president. He said the other day, I'm a great president, one of the greatest presidents. But I said, do me a favor, vote for us and don't call me a great. I'd rather have the vote than the statement. But we have people that don't stick together, and those people hopefully will someday be gone. The thing I most respect about the Democrats, even on horrible policy, they stick together. What they do have, though, is horrible policy. Transgender for everyone, open borders, men and women's sports. They have the worst policy that you can imagine. And so whether they stick together or not, I mean, they have just this terrible policy. We have great policy. Republicans have great policy. We have common sense policy, but it's great policy. That's our biggest advantage, is our policy is correct. Yeah, please.
President, are you encouraging our allies in the Gulf to be more involved in the Iran operation?
Say it.
Are you encouraging our allies in the Gulf to be more involved in the Iran operation?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, but more NATO. I think our Gulf allies have been pretty good, to be honest with you. UAE's been hit so hard. He got hit by 1,400 rockets, shot them all out of the air with our great Patriot missiles. Think of it, they shot 100 missiles at one of our aircraft carriers, the Abraham Lincoln, one of the biggest ships in the world, actually. And out of 101 missiles shot, every single one of them was knocked down in the sea. Think of that. Think of what that means. 101 missiles, highly sophisticated, very fast missiles shot. Out of 101, all 101 were shot down, and now, for the most part, lie at the bottom of the sea. Pretty amazing, right? Pretty amazing. Our military is amazing, Pete. You know the attack I'm talking about recently? 101 shot. I said, wow. I saw that. You can see we have sort of pretty good equipment that we see. It's called the red line. Those red lines were thick, right? I said, that's a lot. And then we saw them one by one just get shot. And these guys that do the shooting, the coolest cucumbers ever. You know, most people, you don't have a lot of time. When a missile's going at 2,500 miles an hour, I don't care how far away it is, you don't have a lot of time. But I watch them. I watch them sit down and think. Great students, MITs, a lot of MITs, a lot of guys like this, and not as much into the muscle as they are this one right here. And amazing to watch them perform under great pressure, because they have a matter of seconds to do it. If they don't do it properly, it's a big problem, you know, because these were powerful. These were very powerful missiles coming. And so a lot of people choke. They don't choke. These guys don't choke. They're the best in the world. We have the best in the world. Yeah.
Mr. President, what would be your message today to the TSA agents who have been staying home in recent days amid this impact?
Well, some of them are needing money, you know, because the Democrats cut off their money. I blame the Democrats more than anything else. But some of them, you know, they didn't get paid because they're not funded by the Democrats. This is a Democrat problem. In fact, I actually said to the Senate, why would you say this is a Democrat problem? I think the polls are showing it's a Democrat problem. And they'll do anything actually to hurt our country so they can try and win the midterms. And if we ever went back to our old policies, we wouldn't have a country left.
If they get a deal, Republicans and Democrats in the Senate, to fund all but enforcement operations of ICE, to get those TSA agents repaid and to open up the rest of the department, would you sign that?
Well, I don't want to comment until I see the deal, but as you know, they're negotiating a deal. I guess they're getting fairly close, but I think any deal they make, I'm pretty much not happy with it. These guys came in, they wouldn't pay people. You know, they had a deal to pay. They had to break their deal. The Democrats broke the deal that we had. It was all done. Everything was fine. And then they just said, well, we're not going to pay anymore. And they hurt our country. And at a very difficult time because, you know, we are at, as they would say, a war. They call it a war. I call it a military operation, a very successful one, like successful like nobody's ever seen before. Hey, Venezuela was equally as successful. That was a great thing. No, the Democrats had a deal. It was a done deal. And then they said, well, we're not going to pay. And so a lot of people suffered over that and put our country in danger. You have another question? You haven't been here in a while.
Well, on Iran, can you give us any more sense of who exactly in Iran it is, either Witkoff,
Well,
Kushner, and others
look,
you're speaking with?
Yeah, we had, I hate to say this in front of these young people. They're not children. I spoke to most of them. They sound like adults to me, even though they are sort of children, right? They'll always be your children. But I hate to say it, but we killed all their leadership. And then they met to choose new leaders, and we killed all of them. And now we have a new group, and we can easily do that. But let's see how they turn out. We have really regime change. You know, this is a change in the regime because the leaders are all very different than the ones that we started off with that created all those problems. So this was, I think we can say, Jason, this is regime change, right?
What makes you trust them?
I don't trust anybody. I don't trust you. I mean, that's only because I know you. But if I didn't know you, I'd probably have more trust. But I don't trust anyone. Why do you say that? Why do you say what makes you trust? Do you think I trust them? I don't trust them.
Then why bother talking to them?
Because they're going to make a deal. They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said they were going to give it. So that meant one thing to me: we're dealing with the right people.
Is that nuclear related?
No, it wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related. And it was a very nice thing they did. But what it showed me is that we're dealing with the right people. Because, you know, you don't know, because the leadership was killed, all gone. Khomeini, all gone, as the expression goes, the past supreme leader. And then the new supreme leader was racked up, at a minimum, racked up pretty good. And everyone else was gone. And then many of the people in the third tier are gone. but we're dealing with a group of people that I think turn out, and the present, the gift they made to us was very significant, and they said they were going to do it, and it happened, and they're the only ones that could have done it. Jennifer?
Related to the Strait of Hormuz and the flow of.
Yeah, it was related to the flow and to the strait. Yeah.
Are you negotiating on who's going to control the strait from now on?
No, we'll have control of anything we want. Look, if we can end this without more lives being down, without knocking out $10 billion electric plants that are brand new and the apple of their eye, I'd like to be able to do that, you know. But they can't have certain things. I mean, you know the things. I don't have to go over the list, but again, it starts with no nuclear weapons, and they've agreed to that. There won't be any nuclear weapons. They're not going to have, and they're not going to have enrichment, any of those things. But look, I hate to say that we're in a very good bargaining position, and I hate to say that they're defenseless because, you know, until that last missile is fired, they have little power. But we are in about the best bargaining position. We're way ahead of schedule. And again, they have no Navy and they have no Air Force and they have no missile protection, and most of their missiles are gone. Most of their launches we've killed. You know, we've killed about 82% of their launches. So even if they had a missile, they can't launch it. We've been very effective. We have the greatest military in the world. Nobody even comes close. We have the best military equipment in the world. Go ahead.
On Saudi Arabia, there's been some reporting that you've been talking to the Crown Prince. Have you been focused on normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel?
Oh, no, we have a great relationship with Saudi Arabia. What do you hear with Saudi Arabia?
Talking, and that he has been encouraging you to do certain things related to Iran. Can you share?
Well, he's a warrior. He does. Yeah, he's a warrior. He's fighting with us, by the way. Saudi Arabia has been excellent, and UAE, excellent. And I will tell you, Qatar, incredible. Qatar took a hit, a pretty bad hit. Qatar is very close. You know, they're essentially, you can walk right over the border. Qatar took a hit. They've been great. They've been very strong. Kuwait, they had a little mishap. They shot down 3 planes with our missiles. They happen to be our planes, but the pilots made it. Can you imagine the pilots making it? The pilots saw what was coming. And they said, those are patriots. We're not going to escape patriots. And they got out of there pretty quick, Pete, right? Pretty amazing that they got out. The 3 pilots lived. They're fine. In fact, they're flying today.
Accidentally fired the missile?
Yeah, the Kuwaitis made a mistake. They fired. They thought they were firing at the enemy. It was, as the expression goes, friendly fire. But the pilots are great. They're flying today. Pretty amazing when you think of it. Yeah.
President Trump, on a human level, how hopeful are you that this peace deal will work out? Like as a human,
On what?
on a human level, not as the president of the United States. How hopeful are you that this peace deal will work out with Iran?
You're talking about to end it? Well, I think we're going to end it. I can't tell you for sure. You know, I don't like to say this. We've won this. This war has been won. The only one that likes to keep it going is the fake news. I mean, the New York Times, you read the New York Times, it's like we're not winning a war where they have no Navy and they have no Air Force and they have no nothing. And we literally have planes flying over Tehran and other parts of their country. They can't do a thing about it. For instance, if I want to take down that power plant, that very big, powerful power plant, they can't do a thing about it. It's like, take me. That's all they can do. And yet, if you read the New York Times or if you watch ABC fake news or NBC fake news, you'd say it's a close battle. It's not a close battle. They're totally defeated. You know, we killed their Navy in, would you say 3 days, Pete? Gone. In fact, I was a little upset with Pete. I said, why didn't you save the ships? We could have used them, right? He said, it's more fun shooting them down. But the Navy was wiped out in a very rapid order. Pretty impressive for you guys, you champion wrestlers, right? When you hear this stuff. But you don't, if you read the news, you don't hear this. You know, you read like, oh, they're doing wonderfully. They're doing terribly. They're wiped out militarily. They are dead. Yeah.
Is there a new sense of a timeline? Do you want to get something done before the midterms?
Well, we'd like to see President Putin and President Zelensky sit down and make a deal. I think they're getting close, but I've been saying that for a while. I've settled 8 wars. All of them should have been more difficult than this one. This should have been the easiest one. But these are two people that truly hate each other. You'll find out that hatred is not good for making deals. These are people that they don't like each other very much. Yeah.
I know you said there's a bunch of people from the administration who are negotiating with Iran. There's been reports that the vice president is leading those negotiations. Is that true?
Well, he's involved in them. JD is involved, and Marco's involved, and Jared Kushner's involved, very smart guy, and Steve Witkoff, smart guy, is involved. And I'm involved. I'm involved. Why? I'm going to be so big. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I'm the president of the United States, Tom. And I'm not going to talk about it. It's beneath me to talk about saving millions of lives, because that's what you're talking about. You're talking about saving millions of lives. If Iran had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it. And if I didn't end the horrible Barack Hussein Obama Iran nuclear deal in my first administration, they would have had a nuclear weapon 3 or 4 years ago. They would have used it. I would have never gotten the chance probably to be president. Who knows if what it would have been so devastating. And if we didn't send those beautiful B-2 bombers, they took them off my desk. They were right there. I don't know why, but if we didn't have those beautiful, the B-2 hit, which was, so we obliterated, despite CNN. CNN said, well, maybe the word obliteration said, no, we obliterated it, just obliterated their nuclear potential. You would have had them having 2 weeks after that attack, had we not made the attack, they would have had a nuclear weapon. They would have absolutely used it. And they would have used it on the entire Middle East, including Israel. And you know why you see that? Because unexpectedly, when this war broke out, unexpectedly, they started sending missiles to UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, and elsewhere. And nobody thought they were going to. Were you equally surprised by that, Pete?
Way more than we thought.
Pete, do you want to give about a 3-minute statement on how we're doing in this, as I call it, military operation? People don't like me using the word war, but so I won't. But the Democrats call it a war. How about a little statement? I think he's done a very good job. Do we agree he's done a good job, Mark? What? Can we take some of your time?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. You're spot on. Never in history has a modern military, Iran had a modern military, a modern Navy, a modern Air Force, modern air defenses, leadership, massive bunker. Never has a modern military been so rapidly and historically obliterated, defeated from day one with overwhelming firepower. The air campaign that we've conducted, that Israel's conducted alongside us, was one for the history books, truly. And it's because we have a president of the United States that when he sends his warfighters out to fight, he unties their hands to actually go out and close with and destroy the enemy as viciously as possible from moment one. And that's why we see ourselves as part of this negotiation as well. We negotiate with bombs. You have a choice as we loiter over the top of Tehran, as the president talked about your future. The president has made it clear that you will not have a nuclear weapon. The War Department agrees. Our job is to ensure that. And so we're keeping our hand on that throttle as long as hard as is necessary to ensure the interests of the United States of America are achieved on that battlefield. This is not Iraq and Afghanistan. This is not a president who's interested in vague end states. He's been very clear with us about what we need to accomplish, creating the conditions for them never to have a nuclear capability. And that's exactly what we're doing in historic fashion. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You know, the only two people that were quite disappointed, I don't want to say this, but I have to. I said, Pete and General Raisin Kane, I think this thing's going to be settled very soon. Here they go. Oh, that's too bad. Pete didn't want it to be settled. It's these guys are doing a great job. That's a good attitude, though, Tom, right? They were not interested in settlement. They were interested in just winning this thing. Yeah, please.
Can you, just taking things locally, hopefully not doing international affairs for a second, do you support the construction of the Second Avenue subway in New York City, and will your administration?
Wow, that's really far out. You know, the Second Avenue subway is being under construction for You're a young guy, is longer than you are old. Okay. That's been under construction. I haven't heard about the Second Avenue subway in 20 years. What the hell kind of a question is that? I guess they got to get it finished. They spent trillions of dollars practically. No, they spent more money on that than on anything, I think, in the history of our city, in New York City. And it's been under construction for a long time. It's very sad, actually. The only thing maybe worse was Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, his train, I call it his train wreck because it's a wreck. That's been years. It's literally
I think
30 times over budget.
I think we
Nobody's
call
ever
it
seen
there.
anything like it. And it doesn't go to San.
Steven, how was your nap?
I mean, is that boring?
I wanted to hear about Iran. It's very important. I'm aware that 50% of people are fans, 50% are not fans. I understand that. But he controls markets, and this is a stock market channel.
The reality is, if he had something to say, it would have been on Truth Social.
Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely press releases and or meetings where he ends up disclosing a lot of new information. Give your mic a check. You sound a little I don't know.
Sound a little what?
Far away? I don't know.
Far away?
No, but that sounds too close. Your gain is off or something. You touched some buttons.
I don't know what I hit.
All right.
Is that better?
It's all right. It just wasn't like whenever you joined.
Well, I'm just going to have to buy that mic you have. What can I say?
Yeah. Okay. So did you see Shift 4, by the way? This company I've been trying to get you to buy the dip on?
No.
It's up 14.8% today, which is actually quite down from where we were earlier. At one point, we were up 25%. Now we're up 14.7%. Maybe a little short squeeze going on. Do you like that?
No.
That get you up at night?
No.
Speaking of getting up at night, did you see my sleep score from earlier? Were you watching?
I was not. What was your sleep score? 74.
It was a bad night.
What did you do? You have nightmares?
Dude, I was up. I was up a long time. I don't know why. There was just this moment in the middle of the night that I was just up for like over an hour. I had a long time where I was just sitting staring at the ceiling.
Oh, Tanner.
Yeah, falling apart here.
Did you not go in the sauna long enough?
I didn't do the sauna last night. Maybe that's what it was.
What are you doing here? I thought you
Yeah.
did the sauna every night.
No, five days a week. So take some time off. Yeah, Steve doesn't get a full night's sleep, so he power naps during video watching time.
I mean, listen, it was boring.
Some of it was definitely off topic for sure. Off
How
of
many
what I
times
cared.
can we
Is
hear- and I'm not political, but how many times can we hear Democrats, Democrats, Democrats? It gets old.
I feel like you're getting political right now.
I'm not getting political. I'm an independent. I'm a libertarian. But how many times can we hear the same shit? Like, come on. Talk policy. Talk about what's going on. Don't reiterate the same stuff.
Yeah. So I'm curious your take on a couple different names here. Can we
Okay.
rattle through some?
Get to it.
Google down 2.77% today. No real news. What the heck is going on?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but it's also not something I'm interested in at this level.
Okay. Here, let me bring up this actually. Microsoft 373.
Yeah, I'm buying more.
OpenAI S1 was sort of leaked for their IPO, and they actually named Microsoft as a key risk in their business.
Yeah, I saw that too. And I think Microsoft is getting unfairly punished. It's even cheaper than it was a couple of days ago when I bought more. And I think it's a great buy for the long term.
I mean, I agree. Meta under 600 again, 594. Recently announced a partnership with Nebius, just announced a partnership with ARM for agentic CPUs for the purpose of agentic purposes. Are you interested in Meta at all here? Do you think that it's a problem that there's been sort of a string of them buying things and hiring people, but then the actual products that they're releasing have kind of been a little bit of flops, no?
I think it's still very undervalued, and Zuckerberg has earned that right. So I think it's a great company.
Okay. I mean, we can go through the Mag 7, but there's a couple smaller names I want to talk about. But Amazon.
One of the most undervalued companies I own.
Really?
We went through it last night. Their SG&A costs are about 168 billion. They're spending 110 billion on R&D. They are going to be a prime benefactor of AI and robotics. I would not be surprised if they're able to cut SG&A costs by 20 to 30 billion, in addition to slowing down R&D in the future and being able to drop 40 to 50 billion of those costs right to the bottom line. It is an incredible opportunity for me. So
yeah. No, I think that's great. They also have a massive and growing stake in Claude. However, Claude's not seeing the most bullish news. I saw Tevis post about that earlier, about all the new products that they've been pushing out, which is true. But there's also been recent reports that the supply chain risk from the Department of War is potentially hurting them by billions of dollars. That other companies are dropping them just because of that supply chain risk. Does that worry you for their stake in some AI names?
No.
Nvidia, the kingmaker of AI. You recently purchased a little dip buy in Nvidia. You bullish?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have bought more on Friday if I wasn't bullish. I think Nvidia is undervalued. I think it's just getting impacted by the broad market and fears about the cost of capital increasing, and that bleeding into the CapEx expansion.
Yeah. And then Apple, I don't think you have a stake, or you do have a stake in this company, right?
I do.
What do you think about it right now?
Apple's a hold. I'm not adding to it. I think the two or the three that I'm adding to are Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon.
Tesla?
Not interested.
Not interested.
So here's the thing. Does Tesla have the most opportunity over the next 10 to 20 years? Yeah, sure. Are they talking about things on a grand scale that nobody else can pull off? Yes. Are they going to pull it off? I have no freaking clue.
I mean, Elon's pulled off some pretty incredible things, no?
Not saying he hasn't. I don't know.
Yeah. And Elon recently said that economies in general will likely 10x over the next 10 years due to artificial intelligence.
So what does that mean for Nvidia?
Unbelievable things. What does that mean for Costco and everything? Like, I think it's just great for markets. But what's the chances that that is true? Which, by the way, he said was his base case. What do you think? Like, do you put any weight into that at all, or that's like almost a sign that we're assuredly at the top? Like, that's some .com type comment. Because that does cross my mind for sure.
It's hard to be at the top when valuations are this low for the biggest companies in the market. I mean, we're acting like valuations are really stretched here. They're not.
No, but I was talking more of a fundamental top. Like, do you think that Nvidia is going to start slowing down on growth, and actually the market is pricing that accordingly?
Well, they are slowing down on growth after this year. I mean, growth.
No, they're not.
After this year? No, they're not. What are you talking about?
Okay, so one, what you're talking about,
Tanner, I think you need to go take a nap. You need to get your sleep score up because you clearly forgot how to calculate percentages.
Dude, you are making complete assumptions that for years and years and years have been way undervaluing Nvidia's growth. So you're basing what you're saying off of judges. I'm basing what I'm saying off of the truth, and the truth is that Nvidia has been accelerating their growth. Anything else is an assumption.
Let me share.
Oh God, you do this every time. We know what I know exactly what you're talking about. This is not a fact. These are Wall Street analysts who have been notoriously wrong.
Jensen has said that this year they're going to be about 70%. This is a fact. Okay.
Yes, which would be an acceleration of growth.
Hold on. Badgering the witness. Hold on. In the slide at GTC, he put $1 trillion of revenue plus from 25 to 27. That means that he's going to do 500 billion in 2028, because that's the 2027 year. The analysts have that at 480, just under that. 30% growth. Let's say he gets to 550 next year. Okay, that's still like a 37% year-over-year growth rate. That is clearly slowing down. Now, is it still phenomenal? Absolutely. Are they still growing by a large amount, by more than 100 billion year over year? Absolutely. But the growth rate is slowing down.
Okay. So one, he said it's $1 trillion only, which by the way, I think it actually accounts to about 38 at 1 trillion. And then that's only what he said was for Blackwell and Vera Rubin.
I know.
Not including Vera Rubin Ultra, standalone Vera systems, Grok systems, or Vera Feynman systems. Okay. So you don't know how much the growth is going to be.
So let's say they do 550 this year. I'm sorry, 550 next year.
You don't.
Let's say they do.
Let's say they do 650.
Okay, maybe they do 650.
You know, so to say that the market is definitely going to decelerate, it's like we don't know that.
But this is what 53. This is the market. 53 analysts are projecting this. This is what the market's looking at.
This is what the 53 analysts, and I'm not even but I just don't like the idea that we 100% know that this is going to decelerate, which obviously like they can't.
We don't 100% know that anything is going to happen. But the facts of the matter are that this is where the analyst community has NVIDIA's consensus. Whether they've been correct or not in the past does not matter.
You're going to make me give you a shake.
No, it doesn't. Otherwise, NVIDIA would be 250 right now. It doesn't matter. The market is pricing in that NVIDIA is going to reduce their growth. Period.
Of course, they're not going to keep up 80+%. Like, I'm fully aware of that. The market is not even pricing them in to do long-term 20% growth, right? And so that's what I'm I'm not going to, this is not the hill to die on that they are going to stay above 80+% growth. I'm fully aware.
Absolutely not.
But to say, okay, well, you know, the market says that they're going to decrease down to 26% growth next year. It's like, dude, in 25, they didn't get that right. In 24, they didn't get, they've never been right on NVIDIA's earnings in years.
I get that.
So I don't care what they say into the future.
I'm just saying that this is what the market's pricing in.
Completely.
Whether they're right or wrong, that doesn't matter. This is what the market is pricing in. The market is pricing in growth is going to significantly slow down. Now, if they beat and it doesn't slow down by as much, that's going to be incredible for NVIDIA investors. There's no question about that. But once again, there's a reason NVIDIA had 2 drop the mic moments in the last 2 quarters and didn't move. They moved to the downside.
Yeah, but in the short term, I still think we're going to see a lot of revenue acceleration. We could honestly see by Q2 of fiscal year 27, which means not this quarter, but next, that they grow by over 100% year over year. Okay. That's like so in the cards, it's insane.
If Nvidia grows by 100% and growth accelerates next year, I mean, this is a $350, $400 stock.
It's in the analyst targets, and not only are analysts guiding for it.
Some of them have it 625 next year. I see it.
Right, and so, but also same thing. You say it's going to be a $300 stock. How many analysts have it at a $300 stock?
That I don't know.
Well, we could check. Let's just bring that up really quick, because it's more than people think. Rosenblatt has 325 as of yesterday. Cantor Fitzgerald 300. Raymond James 323. Bernstein 300. Let's see what else. Evercore ISI 352. Remulus Research 380. Tigris Financial 360. Wedbush 300. Robert WB 300. HSBC 310. It's way more than people think. Like the average price target amongst 38 analysts, for which none of them are accelerating, is 274, 56% upside. You know, so those are the same people that are calling for a massive deceleration. It's like, okay. And then Star, I think, brings up a great thing. If you end up having this build out that, Nvidia is projecting that that analysts believe is going to bring up earnings, bring $1 trillion through 2027 in revenue, and you're requiring more DRAM, essentially a doubling every time that we have a new step up in architecture. That essentially is saying that the growth from Micron at Blackwell level to Vera Rubin level is almost essentially going to double. Let alone that not more chips will be purchased, which if you're counting tokens per second per watt, Vera Rubin is even better. It's cheaper to buy a Vera Rubin at a higher price, which doubles the sales volume for Micron in this next architecture that's coming out in second half 2026. Like, I feel like I'm going crazy.
You are going crazy.
I know, but this is why I my sleep score today is not showing it, but honestly, I sleep well holding these names, but
look,
I don't know the time frame and how long I need to wait.
Nvidia may have a hard time breaking 200 this year, Tanner.
Come on.
I'm serious.
We have 7 months or 7 months left. Am I going crazy? No,
you
9 months
really
left.
Need to get your sleep, sir.
Yeah, seriously.
It's March. There's 12 months in a year.
Okay, we have 8 months left. We have 8 months left. What, assuming we're around April 1st.
Well, yeah, April 1st is a week away.
Yeah. So 8 months, 1 week left.
I swear to God, you need to get some melatonin and get yourself to sleep. Have some sleepy time tea.
But this, for real, this is why you need sleep. It's because, like, I feel fine, but the things I want to say coming out of my mouth is not coming out straight.
Your brain is not acting fine.
Yeah. My computer's turned off.
No good.
That said, what were we...
Well, you were going crazy because I said Nvidia may have a hard time breaking 200.
Yeah, come on. We have 9 months left.
Okay.
That's multiple quarter prints, new architecture, new products.
Yep. And that did really good since CES, right?
Yeah, but it stacks. But it's that we're gonna have a lower share count since then.
Tanner,
we are going to have more revenue. It only stacks.
All I'm saying is that they broke out and had the most incredible Q3. Then they came and had an even better Q4, and both times the stock sold off. It is nowhere near 52-week highs. There's no catalyst on the horizon for it to break out.
Dude, you're making it out to be like it's down 40%. We're not that far away. Like
212 to
now is not that crazy.
175 is nowhere near all-time highs.
I don't know. I don't think it's that bad.
Do the math. What's the math?
I don't want to do math right now. I have a 74 sleep score.
You can do it. 212 minus 175. You can do it. Come on. Very simple way to do it. 200 minus 175.
Just stop talking. It's like 15 to 18%, something like that.
Okay. It's nowhere near all-time highs.
I hope you were never a teacher. You're standing in front of a student. You're like, all right, now do this. Now do this in your head. Why aren't you doing it faster? Like, you gotta let me think about it. But what was I gonna say?
I have no idea what you were gonna say because you're not making any sense.
You're making me go crazy right now.
I mean, look, how about this?
I was listening
Nvidia is effectively approaching a bear market. How about that?
I agree with you. But the market's not.
I'm not saying the market.
The actual sales market is not.
Yeah, I'm not saying the market is. I'm just saying right now, Nvidia is on the way to a bear market. If it gets there, is a different story, but it is not able to break out.
Yeah, I remember listening to the podcast that you had with Chris Patel, and he was like, yeah, no, I don't want to misinterpret him or misquote him, but he said something along the lines of he would not be surprised if Nvidia for the next 2 years averages between 10 to 15% returns.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either.
That would make me flip my desk.
I know it would.
You know? How in this
and I'll say this, I believe Chris believes it should be much more of a higher share price than it is today. It's just not because of the environment. The numbers.
I'm pretty sure he's long.
Yes, he owns a lot of it.
Yeah.
Look, Nvidia is a great company. It is putting up some of the best earnings reports we've ever seen. The reality is, since it's all-time highs, it's 17.5% off of them. Another 2.5% down, it's officially in a bear market. The reality of the situation is it may not break out. We need oil to come down. We need the situation overseas to be averted. And we need CME Group and the rest of anybody else who matters to stop pricing in rate hikes. You need a different narrative because right now these companies, the hyperscalers, are not being rewarded for spending on CapEx. It's a problem. You need that to change.
The market is not rewarding it. They are being rewarded, though. The growth is accelerating across the Mag 7.
The market's not rewarding any of that.
I get that, but this is the same like Nebius argument. It's like I wouldn't want to try to time these things of whenever the market does see it, but Google continues to spit out higher and higher sales volumes. It's not translating to free cash flow right now. But if they decide to turn off that expansion and the market keeps up with the amount of token use that they will have, which I'm 1,000% believer of, that once people start incorporating agentic use cases and generative use cases into their workflow, they're not going to turn that off. These things are going to stick and people are going to continue to build with them. And so I believe that the cloud usage and the amount that people end up using AI is only going to increase. I'm literally hiring a guy to figure out.
I agree with you.
AI.
The problem is with what you just said. If Alphabet does that, it's bad for Nvidia.
Say that again. It slows down the.
If they turn off the spigot and slow down CapEx, that's bad for Nvidia, great for Alphabet.
Yes.
So you do not want that to happen.
I think it's a natural progression. I think that's why I'm putting more money into like a Nebius, like my new money into Nebius.
I mean, I'm glad you're diversifying.
Not just to diversify. Like eventually there will, like you can't, like there's not going to be endless expansion. Well, CapEx I think could stay high, but the growth rate might not stay as high. You know, like the
Well, I
actual
don't-
aggregate dollars can be high.
Yeah, I don't think that CapEx is going to go into reverse mode. I think maintenance mode is just kind of going to be whatever that last year is.
Repeated.
I don't think maintenance mode means you go into negative. I think
Yeah,
it
yeah, it'd
means
just be
you
the last year.
replicate whatever the previous year spend was.
Yeah, just repeated over and
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Which wouldn't be great for Nvidia's growth, but it would be fine for their EPS because Nvidia will still be printing a ridiculous amount of money, and they'll just juice the EPS by buying back a ton of shares.
Let's continue on with the.
Are you still feeling good about our little bet?
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
do think it's going to be more than 250 this year?
Yes, dude. I don't. There's not a company I have more faith in that I've ever laid eyes on, ever.
Okay.
Like, I don't think honestly, people are following as closely like the actual demand that is happening in the markets.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they are. Just so everybody knows, Tanner is basically saying Nvidia is going to sail right past 42.86% where they are today. Smooth sailing.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. I hope it does. I bought more. I hope it does.
That doesn't even sound crazy to me. Like it's growing at 80+%.
That
Margins are improving.
Sounds crazy to the market.
SoFi, Tanner, not even SoFi. Guys, my stake in Nvidia is like 4x SoFi. Like if you had to ask me to pick one and drop the other, SoFi would be gone tomorrow. Like, I mean, it's it's not even close. My stake in Nvidia is way, way, way bigger than any other company I've ever bet on. Mainly not actually based on cost basis, which is funny. I think I've actually put in more money into SoFi than I have Nvidia, but the market value of Nvidia has appreciated so much. But yeah.
Great role model.
Great
role model.
Let's see if there's other companies that you have strong views on here. Are you in the BMNR trade still?
I am.
We have 8 holdings, which I've not seen news on just yet, but this is up 26%. I think the stake that BMNR has is over $93 million, something like this in Orbs. So whenever Orbs takes a 26% increase, this adds, you know.
Tanner, news just came out.
What?
Iran is said to offer conditional passage through the Strait of Hormuz amid shipping crisis. Iran informed members of the International Maritime Organization that vessels deemed non-hostile may be allowed to pass through the Strait of Hormuz, provided they coordinate directly with Iranian authorities, the Financial Times reported.
I don't know how new that is. Did that just go through?
It
Because oil
just came out at 316.
Oil's not moving at all, and the market's going down. People are saying that was 20 minutes ago.
All right, well, it says 316 where I looked at it.
Yeah, we're essentially break even on the markets today. Okay, we covered Nvidia. Are you interested in any other ways to play the AI trade? Like I know we talked about Micron, but are you interested in like an Intel or anything spicy like this? Any photonic names? I think AAOI is up a ton today.
No, just
18.2.
energy.
Sorry?
Just energy.
There's a lot of talk about the photonics supply constraint being similar to memory, where there's just a massive boom. Vera Rubin will be massive for this. And we even saw Jensen with the recent investments in things like Lumentum, $2 billion deal with Lumentum. That stock is up to 9.3%, but this was a while ago. and then Coherent up 7% today as well. So photonics are just booming right now. No coverage on those?
No, I don't know enough about it, nor do I want to learn it. I think there's still room in energy.
VG?
I'm in it. That's not one of the ones I'm thinking of. That VG is not an AI play.
No. Sorry, I thought you were just switching to energy names.
No, I mean there's certain ones that I think are really good for the AI trade,
like Centrus Energy, stuff like that.
Kinder Morgan, boring
Okay.
stuff, because Kinder Morgan has 76,000 miles of natural gas pipelines.
You in Enbridge as well?
I am in Enbridge, yes.
Yeah. TSM, do you hold this name? Taiwan Semi?
No, but I should. I saw something that they now have constricted or constraints on capacity right now, which is crazy.
Okay. Yeah, they're fully sold out of their new fabrication that hasn't even broken ground yet. It's crazy.
I mean, that's bullish Nvidia.
Yeah. Well, actually, it is bullish Nvidia, but I heard a rumor the other day that the amount of the 2 nanometer A16, I'm going to get this all confused, but the A16 wafers that Nvidia needs for the Vera Rubin from TSM are not even possible, that they actually had to downgrade the specs that they were expecting for Vera Feynman, which is a little bit concerning. But that's how, supply constrained the whole market is right now. Jevons paradox. Well, I mean, you have to be a believer in that in order to bet in AI, because everything that they're doing is extremely deflationary. AMD, do you hold this name?
No.
Silver, gold, you have small plays in these?
Yeah, small.
Did you ever get into any stablecoin names? Coinbase, Circle, anything like this? Circle down 19% today?
Just Ethereum and BMNR on those, which I saw Clarity Act got rid of stablecoin paying interest
on deposits. Holding crypto. But there will be transaction-based activity that will pay out. So they called it a compromise, but it's definitely not in favor of crypto companies. It's in favor of the banks.
Okay.
You still own XRP?
I do.
Still in XRP.
Yeah, there's no reason to get out of it.
Maybe if you find something you like better, I guess.
Nah.
Steven, I don't care, Fiorillo. It's coming out strong.
I mean, look, there's a reason I can say I don't care, because of the S&P.
Bloom Energy.
No, I didn't get into Bloom. I didn't understand it. Is what it is. I know it did really well.
Oklo, anything like that?
No, I think SMR is getting interesting, but I'm not buying anything in that area.
Okay. All right. I don't think there's anything else.
You buy more SoFi?
I've not purchased more SoFi yet.
Ooh, Hood is under 70. Look at that.
You buying that?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Everybody told me Hood's not going below. Hood's not going below.
I am about an hour past when I usually run these streams.
That's because you listen to Trump.
The Trump man was talking.
Anyway, I'm going to get going. You need to go get your sleep.
I'm gonna have a sauna this time.
You need to be ready for tomorrow.
Yeah.
8 p.m.
Yeah.
Make sure your brain's working.
We're gonna be on. I just get flustered around good investors.
I don't want to have any of this stuff where you can't do math and your brain's not working correctly. And you also need to tell me what list you want to be.
We've done movies. We've done. You want to do a genre of movies or like
whatever you want?
A genre of songs or something?
Whatever
you don't really
you
listen
want.
to music though.
I don't really listen to music, but whatever you want to do.
Tanner needs more compute. That's good. Okay. Thanks, Steven. Where can people find you?
I don't know. Wherever.
YouTube, X.
Yeah,
Speaking
YouTube,
Alpha.
X. Yeah.
At Steven Fiorillo. Well, thank you, brother.
Later, Tanner.
Most anticipated movies?
Heat 2. And
Why?
by the way, they should not remake Bloodsport. I'm very angry they're remaking it. Tanner's looking at me like he's never freaking seen it.
No, you told me to watch it because I really like Gangs of New York, I think.
No, you like mixed martial arts, so you would love this movie.
Oh, okay. I remember we were talking. There was some reason why you brought it up.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
But I did see Jaws recently. I saw Gangs of New York. I'm trying to check out some more old movies to tick off the list. The other one that I refuse to watch and I haven't seen is Titanic. I have zero interest.
You're a good kid.
Fight Club. I've seen parts of Fight Club, but I've never watched it through, to be honest.
Well, watch Bloodsport.
Before Fight Club.
Watch Bloodsport.
All right.
Anyway, thank you for having me, Tanner. I will see you tomorrow night.
Thanks, brother.
Later, everyone.
Steve is the man. No interest in Solana. I don't think he has interest in Solana. I hold Solana. There is a Titanic 2. Okay, let's go chill. Ocean's 11. I think that was on my top movies of all time. If it wasn't, I definitely believe it. It's an amazing movie. Top 10 mustaches of all time. We'll find a list to do. We'll do a list. Okay. So I definitely will have a Nebius video coming out today. Super interested in that name. I see comments like from Dookie and stuff like this. I saw like people are less interested in the Nvidia trade, but for me it's not a trade, right? So there's this mix, right? People say talk about what you want to talk about and then talk about what people want you to talk about. Potentially the want to talk about Nvidia is dying off or something, but like that's not how the orders are portraying their business. And I feel like if I were to, like everyone, even Steve, I felt like was coming off a little bit like, hey, but no one cares. And what if they don't care for the next 24 months? It's like, okay, but if they keep up a level of growth that's higher than the markets, they continue to grow market share in the space, then it gets more exciting for me if the stock price doesn't move. So maybe I wasn't right before, but hindsight's 2020. Do I trade it now? I think similarly with if you were a shareholder in PayPal or SMCI, it's like, okay, it didn't work, but now we have to readdress it after those things have sold off. Nvidia will go higher, much higher, in my opinion. I mean, I'm a believer. I definitely care, but I'm not sure everyone does. And I understand that as well. If something doesn't work, but I'm fine standing in a sea of investors that say, no, you're wrong. And I go, No, I'm right. I'm going to stick to my convictions. We did this with, probably most publicly SoFi at 4. It's like, I looked like a blabbering idiot, but I was right. Like, we're at 17 today from 424. Okay. So just because Nvidia isn't working right now doesn't mean that, it requires a change in strategy or something like this. If I fundamentally believe in a business, markets can stay irrational, longer than people can stay solvent. But luckily, I'm not trading with any form of leverage or option strategy, only selling options. And I can do that this whole time. You don't need retail to love Nvidia. It's so big, it runs by institutions and countries owning it. Yeah, no, I've never talked about a company thinking that like we as a community are going to control the stock price. I know I'm talking like there's no amount of money that we could generate that would move this stock. But that's never been about the reason why I cover these stocks online. It's always been about, okay, well, where do I think I'm going to make most, the highest return? And there have been times where like the market has beat me in the short term. In the long term, I've beaten the market. And the same thing will be true for SoFi as well, or any of these things where people said, it's never, ever going to recover. And then it, goes up. Right now, it's not a great time. And people would say, okay, well, you've turned out to be wrong, but the story isn't over. Like the sun will shine again. But yeah. Just look at the numbers and stick to what you know exactly. Yeah, I stay fundamentally driven. But yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Nebius video, a couple more videos throughout the week. Marshall starts on Sunday. Probably have him here on Monday to meet everyone. He'll be the newest member of the future investing team, joining full time. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to talk about if I have him here for the hour and a half. So I might, I don't know. Maybe I'll have him come over later and just pop into the stream just to say hi. We'll figure it out. Should be fun. Until next time, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. But bye for now.